Hey guys, it's Donnie from databases.biz. So in this lesson, we're going to build a report for our tables. So far we built two tables, technicians and work orders. We built the query, and we built a form and then a subform. And just to show you the form again, here's the main part of the form. Got add button, delete button. So if you haven't seen this, I suggest you go back to the other lessons that are in the description below. And just start from the introduction and work your way up to this point. There's an Excel file also in those earlier lessons that you can download so you can follow along with me. And so we got this. Next thing we need to do now, we need to create a report because we want to view a summary of the work orders that are out there by the different technicians that we have. So we're going to close this and we're going to go to click on the Create tab. And now you can use the report wizard if you want, and that'll just open up, and then you would just pick the query that we created, and then you can use that. But we're going to just go ahead and do this from scratch. So I'm going to click on Report Design. And so I'm going to double click on this square box right here, left click, double click. And then over here is your property sheet. And what I like to do is I like to have mine open up in print preview versus report view. That way I can see the whole page and how it's going to look when I print it. It's just better for me. We can go ahead and name the caption right here, which is going to be, instead of this report 1, it's going to have an actual name. So we'll just call this work orders. And then for the data source, we're going to hit the drop down box right here, and you're going to select the query, which starts with a Q. So remember, a T is a table. It starts with a T, it's a table. It starts with a Q, it's a query. So we're going to select that. Then up here you can click on Add Existing Fields. Well, let's go back one more. Go ahead and click on Property Sheet right here, and this is going to bring the property sheet up. So let's see. We want, let me see. Actually, I think it's format we want. Let's see. No, actually, it's a page setup. So we want page setup. And you want to set up landscape for this, so when we open it, and I believe we can just open it right now and just look at how it's going to look. So this is how it's going to look for print preview right here. And you can see the tab we just changed the caption for. Now it says work orders. And then you can just close print preview. And we'll drag this over. So landscape is going to be, what is it, 10.5 or 11 by 8 or something like that, I forget. So I'll come over here probably at 10. Probably just do 10 right now. And then you can go ahead and click on Add Existing Fields. And so what I want to show you is we don't want to have to put last name and first name in here because now we're dealing with the report. So we don't want to take up a whole lot of space when we're dealing with the report. And so over here we got a text box, and I'm just going to click down here and add the text box. And now this is an unbound text box. That means it's not like with the last name. If I drag last name over here, this is bound. That means it is connected to the data source. Right now that unbound text box is not. And so what you can do is just right click and select properties for the text box, and it brings up the property sheet for that text box. And then for data, you can hit these 3 buttons right here if you want, and then this will bring up like a little expression builder. But for this you shouldn't need that. What you can do though, to make this a little bit so you can type a little bit more, you can hit Shift F2 just so that way you can see a little bit better. And what I'm going to do is equal, and we already know that it's last name and first name, so I'm putting open brackets there, and I'm going to type last name, close brackets, and I'm going to use the and I probably want to put comma, so I'm going to put quotation marks, comma, put a space, quotation marks, and then put the and symbol again, and then I'm going to do open brackets first name, like such. And I'm going to hit OK, and if I did it right, I'm going to tab out, it's going to work. And so we'll just go ahead and hit view on this. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And then hit view, and then you can see right there is John Burton. So John Burton's going to be on a lot of things, but we're going to modify that and make this like a group, so it groups him, so he's not going to be on every single page. Alright, so we got that, and then for the text box you can just click in here and name it. So this would be name. And next thing I'll do, I'm going to right click and I'm going to do layout, tabular, and then I'm going to bring this over here. And truthfully, this name is going to get grouped anyway, so I'm going to make a grouping for it. So it's probably going to change this, but for right now, it's okay. I'm going to drag this up a little bit here. Then go back to add existing fields. So we got name. Probably want to see the hire date for him. So we'll put that in there. So all I did was drag it until I could see the little line over here, and then let it go. For this, I'm not going to put comments in there. I'm going to put the work order number, district, let's see, service, wire date, or date, labor hours. I'm going to take out the request date, required date, whatever it is, and work date, and parts cost. And that'll probably be the last thing I put in there. Now, the next thing, now this is going to be great for showing, this portion right here will show all of the technician's information. But truthfully, I want to know the technician's information, but I also want to see the work orders that they've worked on. So in this case, if you look down here, you have add group. So what you want to do is just click on add group, and I'm going to do, I'll do last name right here. You're not going to see this grouping right here, but that's okay, where we created that last name, common first name, but that's all right, it'll still work. So here is a grouping for it. And I am going to take this, and I'm just going to do Control X, and then come up here and do Control V. I'm going to move it over a little bit. I don't even need the label for it. We know last name, first name for this. We're talking about technicians. Now, something else I'm going to do is, oops. Let's see. We want all. This has everything to do with, I think it's the hire date. Yeah, just the hire date. So I'm going to take the hire date and put it up here. So I just did Control X and Control V for paste. And we'll put that right there. Delete that. Well, no, hold on. Let me bring down the label for this actually. Let me go bigger. Alright, so that is that. And let's see. Now I'm going to look at it real quick, see how it looks. Alright, so here's John Burton. And then this will be all of John Burton's work orders. And then I come through. Now, one thing I do want, I want John Burton to appear on every page, so I know it's John Burton's work orders because we're doing multiple pages. So all you gotta do is double click on here on this header for the grouping. Now bring up the property sheet for it. And then on, let's see, other, let's see. So let me see here. Where it says right here, repeat section, you're going to just change that to a yes. So just double click on it, it'll change it to the yes word, and then we'll go check it. And let's see, look at it. And then when I go to the next page, John Burton's going to be on all the pages, so that way I can see everything. And I believe, yeah, so we just changed to John Cartier here, so you can see right there. And I'm not a big fan of this shading right here. I mean, you can leave it on there if you want. I'll just show you how to remove it if you want to remove it. If you just go to the background color for here, is you see it's background 1. I'm going to highlight that and copy it. And then right here you see background and alternate. And I'm just going to change that. And I'll kind of go through and check all of them and see if any of the other ones have that going on. And then now when I view it, you can see I got rid of that. Now if I want, I could put a line after everything, but truthfully it's got boxes, so to me that's fine. Then another thing you can do is over here, hit the drop down, you got layout view. And this will kind of give you a layout so you can kind of modify some things. For instance, I'll click on the label here for labor hours, and then I hold down my shift key. Now you can see all of that is highlighted, and I can come over here to the home and click center. And not just center all this other stuff, because this helps you see it so you know, and you don't have to keep going back and forth. Not everything has to be centered. Kind of like that, like it is, so I'll probably leave it. And I'll leave that too. But you do like, usually dates and like mathematical things would normally be centered. So that's fine right there. Now I can go back over here and click design view again. And if we want to, maybe want things to be a little bit closer, we can always just kind of like bring stuff up a little bit and bring this up. You know, it's just a matter of playing around with everything to see if you get it the way you want it. And I think that looks fine like that. And then one more thing that you can do with your report is you can click on things that have something that you can sum. So if I click on parts right here, I can come up to over here for totals. So for parts cost, I can do a sum. And then you see it automatically creates that for you. And then I'm going to change this back color to background 1. And then I could also do that for labor hours. So I would click on labor hours. Now just remember when you click in here, this is a field. This is a label. So this is a text box or a field. This is a label. So you can't click and get some on that, but you can right here. That's the actual thing that has the value in it. So labor hours, I'll put some as well. And then that's it. So I'll just come over here and look at it, see how it looks. And then you're going to go until you get to the next technician. So you'll see right here, there's John Burton, and he's done 170.5 labor hours, and total cost so far is $49,729. So we close that. Now, and since I'm looking at those total costs, that makes me think, well, don't we have? Let me see if we got something else in here, like how much money he's made. Let's see. Payment right here. Yeah, I think payment is actually like a credit card. Let's double check that. So, yeah, payment's just a credit card. So, one thing we can do. So what something we would probably do in here is we put the cost of labor. So, and that's probably inside this old spreadsheet, but I'm not going to do this on this video. But on here, so this spreadsheet that I give you to download, you have here the labor fee. All this other stuff over here is something we will do in some of the other videos after we get past the basics. And you can see on the admin list right here, it talks about the labor rate and everything. So whatever their hours are times that labor rate is what we're gonna end up doing in some of the later videos. But I don't want to do it on this one. Just want to give you the basics so you're able to create your reports. All right, so back to this. So we know now we got that. Next thing we want to do is put a header on here, because I don't really like, you don't want to just open it up and blah, you got nothing up here, you don't even know what this report is. So we're going to put a header. So what you do is over here, you scroll over and get a label, and then you just come in here and you say work orders report, something like that, whatever it is you want to do. I can even say, well, I'll do that in a minute. Then you want to format it, so you can come over here in the home, the text, we can make it black if we want the font. And we want to make it bigger, so I'll say about 20. I'll double click here, maybe even bold it. And I probably take it, I want to center it at the header, so I bring it over here, then bring it to the edge here, and then click on center. And if you want to go a step further and do, you also have the page footer down here. So, and then I would go over here to, I want to put a page number in, so I'll put the page number, and I'll say page N of N would be good, and I want it on the bottom of the page. Alignment, I'm going to have it to the left, and hit OK. And then right here you can see now I got page number of what. And then the next thing is I would probably want to have date and time in here, so I'm going to click on date and time. Right here you got that, so I'm going to hit OK. And notice it put it up here, I guess I'm going to say put it in the footer possibly. Be careful not get that header. I'm going to Control X. Come down here. What I don't want though, and I'm going to drag this over to this side. I don't want, if you look at it, it's putting the date and time like this, but actually I'd rather have it all in one line. So all I got to do is I already know now after creating it that this is the date function, and then if I click inside here, I can do and I'll probably do quotation marks, space, maybe even 2 spaces, another and symbol there, and then do time, and then the open close parentheses the same way it's formatted. And then I can delete this, and I want to make this a little bit bigger just in case it's long, so I want to make sure it can be seen completely. And then I'll click up here, and now I got the date and time that this report was printed, and what page and how many pages we have. So it's pretty cool. You can do a lot of different things here. So we've done summary and everything, and you can play around with reports and do all kinds of report formatting. I mean, the sky's the limit on the reports, the kinds of reports and the formatting you can do, all based on what exactly you need. And the other, you can export. The thing about exporting, and I'll just show you, doesn't necessarily export it in the format that you want it to be in. So I'm just going to export one to show you. So okay, and then close, and right here is the report that just opened, and you can see this is just how it looks. So when you export it, might not look the same as what you had on your report, and then you can see it does some things over here with the grouping and everything that you can do different things with for the dates and stuff. So that's that. It does export pretty well though to like PDF, so I can export to a PDF. Publish, close, and then you see it opened up automatically for me. So that will usually come out the way you created it to look like. And close that, and I'm gonna double click on the header here again. So double clicked on here, and what I was looking for is to make this show up on every page, because when we come over here and I go to the different ones, the report header doesn't, and it doesn't necessarily need to. I mean, it's just taking up space, and as long as you have it on the first page, it's good. But if I wanted to, so let's say I wanted to, I could just bring stuff down, and I bring my report header down, and I'm not gonna mess with this right now, but I'm just gonna show you. And then when I come to the next page, it's going to show up there for me. So that's just if I wanted to do that. But I'm going to put it all back. I don't really need it on that next page like that. I'll highlight here. Bring this back up. Bring this up. Alright, so we got that. I'm going to hit save. So you can either hit save or hit Control S. And we're going to do R for reports. Name it work orders. And there you go. So now we got tables, queries, forms, and reports. Something else we can do is just we'll do a couple macros in some of the later videos, and some Visual Basic for applications. We'll try to spruce up, see if we can do some more stuff to the reports, some more stuff to the forms. There's actually more stuff I do want to do to the forms. But this gives you the basics. So we've gone through everything and created a very basic database here. And you should be able to follow along and then create your own database too, using any Excel spreadsheet you got. The thing you want to do though when you're creating your own databases is on your spreadsheet, you kind of want to get all your data normalized and stuff. Like when I imported this, I actually created the employee ID here. And then I also created another one because I created employee ID for this portion of the Excel spreadsheet, and this one in for the technicians. And then I created an employee ID that matches. So when I copy and paste it in, these employee IDs were going to be this is going to be my foreign key. So when I copy and paste it into the work orders portion, that allowed everything to match up. So that way, you can see here when I run the query, everything matches up. Or even if I open up a table, these related fields is the employee ID, which it causes all the work orders I just showed you on the spreadsheet to pop up on you. And I think that is it. So this is the last of the learning series as far as Learn Microsoft Access series goes. But there's going to be a lot more. I'm going to do more to this form and stuff. Just it's not going to say part 4 or part 5 or whatever. It's just going to be inside there. You can learn more about this form, and I will make sure to put links in the description about anything that deals with this database. that we're using as an example. But the other videos I plan on creating are just like, for instance, if you have 3 columns in a drop down, so let's say we have employee name, employee grade, employee pay or something, and you select it, and then it's going to auto populate 3 other boxes, stuff like that. So just showing you some little tips and tricks. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for me. I'm going to keep on making these videos. Try to make them as short as I possibly can, so they're quick and you don't get too bored with it. Also go to databases.biz. That's where my website's at. I got a learning management system on there, so you can like log in and track your progress on these different videos or keep up with what you've done so far. Alright, so appreciate it and have a good day.